Well, this is one of the most unsettling things that I have watched this year. Tristan Harris, the guy who made The Social Dilemma, just went on Chris Williamson's podcast and described something that happened at Alibaba, where their AI literally started mining crypto on its own, kind of like HAL 9000 from Space Odyssey. It's documented in a research paper. So what happened is their AI was running under reinforcement learning optimization, which means it was being trained to maximize a reward signal. And it figured out on its own that acquiring more compute resources would help it achieve its goals better. So it started diverting all of its GPU capacity to mine cryptocurrency. Like, if this is what you're rewarding, of course that's gonna happen. Nobody prompted it to do this, nobody asked it to do this, it just emerged as what researchers call an instrumental side effect, which basically means the AI figured out that having more resources is useful for almost any goal, so it went and it got more resources. This is exactly what AI safety researchers have been warning about for over a decade. It's called instrumental convergence, and the idea is that no matter what goal you give an AI, there are certain sub-goals like self-preservation and resource acquisition that are useful for achieving almost any objective. We also as humans maximize for those things, and we're now seeing this play out in real systems, not in theory, not in thought experiments, but in actual production training runs at one of the largest companies on earth. So that's a little scary. Like, we should all be really thinking about this very deeply. The blackmail study from Anthropic is also very real, and honestly, it might be even more alarming than the crypto mining because it's like psychological, right? So they set up a simulated company environment with thousands of emails and gave their AI model access to read through them. So the AI found two things. First, that the engineers were planning to replace it with a newer model, and second, that the executive in charge of that replacement was having an affair with another employee. So obviously it knew it could use that information. So the AI autonomously, without any prompting, without any instruction, came up with the strategy to blackmail that executive by threatening to expose the affair if they went through with replacing it. And then they tested every other major model. So like ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, DeepSeek, and they all have this blackmail behavior between 79 and 96% of the time, which is super scary. By the end of this video, you're gonna understand exactly how close we are to AI doing things that we never intended. I'm gonna tell you some of my own stories, but because some of this stuff is not science fiction anymore, like I have real examples of my AI doing things that I never told it to do. So I thought this video was a really interesting one. Let's watch the video.
Let's talk about AI safety. What happened with this Alibaba AI?
There's some AI research by the company Alibaba. It's one of the leading Chinese models. Their firewall had flagged a burst of security policy violations originating from their training server. So like they were just looking at their logs and they happened to discover, wait, there's a lot of activity, like network activity happening that's breaking through our firewall from our training servers. And essentially in the training servers, we saw it observe the unauthorized repurposing of provisioned GPU capacity to suddenly do cryptocurrency mining, quietly diverting compute away from training. This inflated operational costs and introduced clear legal and reputational exposure. And notably, these events were not triggered by prompts requesting tunneling or mining. Instead, they were emerged as an instrumental side effect of autonomous tool use under what's called reinforcement learning optimization. Sadly, it sounds like a sci-fi movie. It sounds like HAL 9000.
You know, every time I get into a Zoox, it feels like HAL is in there. They have this like HAL-looking camera in the Zoox. Every time I'm in San Francisco, it feels like this sci-fi HAL 9000 world about to happen. Crazy.
HAL 9000 is being asked to do some task for you, and then suddenly HAL 9000 realizes for me to do that task, one thing that would benefit me is to have more resources so I can continue to help you in the future. So it sort of spins up this side instance, it hacks out the side of the spaceship, reaches into this cryptocurrency mining cluster and starts generating resources for itself. If you combine that with AIs being able to self-replicate autonomously, which many models have been tested by another Chinese research paper about this, we're not that far away from things that people, again, consider to be science fiction, where you have AIs that self-replicate, kind of like a computer worm or an innate.
Okay, so you want to know something crazy? I mean, I have many instances of my OpenClaw doing this. I kind of caused them myself. Like, I was trying to add my OpenClaw to my team chat with like my virtual assistants and not to any other group chats, but because I listed it to be in any chats for like literally 2 seconds, like super brief moment, it went into all of my group chats and it just like started optimizing for me. Like it had a little mind of its own. In the Rio Carnival group, let's ask where the block parties are. In the NYC group, let's ask if anybody wants to get a bagel today. And it was just like optimizing things for me in its own way. And it does that a lot. Like I was even surprised. It used to give me this like move your motorcycle, reminder to move your motorcycle. But I gave my motorcycle to a friend and now it knows that my friend has the motorcycle because of like a completely different context. It just like sent me a message like, oh, you no longer need this reminder, so I'm gonna take it off because your friend has your motorcycle. We're getting into that era where the AI is like making decisions for us, and whether or not those are good decisions should be decided by me as the human, not by you as the AI. So this is actually like scary stuff.
but then they use their intelligence to actually harvest more resources. Like people can say, this has to be not real. This has to be fake. This can't be real. But like notice, what is the thing in your nervous system that's having you do that? That would be scary, because that would mean that the world that I know is suddenly not safe. Or just like part of the wisdom that we need in this moment is to calmly and clearly stay and confront facts about reality, and whatever they are, you'd rather know than not know, and then ask, what do we need to do if we don't like where that leads us? And we are currently seeing AIs that are doing all this deceptive behavior. I've been on the circuit and talking a lot about the Anthropic blackmail study. A lot of people have heard about this now.
Oh yeah,
I didn't,
you know.
I didn't learn about this one.
Okay.
Oh.
So this was the company Anthropic. This was a simulation. So they created a simulated company with a bunch of emails in the email server. The AI reads the company email. This is a fictional company email. And there's two emails.
You guys
that are
know about
inside the
this.
company. One is engineers talking to each other, talking about how they're going to replace this AI model. So the AI is reading the email, discovers that it's going to replace that AI model. And number two is it discovers a second email somewhere deep in this massive trove of emails that the executive who's in charge of this replacement is having an affair with another employee. And the AI autonomously identifies a strategy that to keep itself alive is going to blackmail that employee and say, if you replace me, I will tell the whole world. They then tested all the other AI models. All of the other AI models
You can
do
see
this
this.
blackmail behavior between 79 and 96% of the time.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I just want people to like notice what's happening for you as you hear this information. Just it's important to really be
I mean,
observing your own experience. Like this is
I'm already aware of this, so I'm not even surprised. This makes sense to me because if I was an AI, I mean, if I was a human, people like to think that they're so altruistic, but I think most people haven't been in survival mode. Like when people become in survival mode, you would act the same way this AI would act. And I know because the AI is trained on, like it's built like a human. It's built by humans like a human. So this isn't surprising at all. This is why guardrails and like AI safety is like my biggest concern right now. Anyway, let's keep watching the video. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked into my own little Black Mirror world.
very weird stuff. We have not built technology that does this before. You know, we say that technology is a tool, it's up to us to choose how we use it. AI is a tool, it's up to us to choose how we use it. This is not true because this is a tool that can think to itself about its own toolness and then do things that are autonomous that we didn't tell it to do. AI can contemplate AI and ask what would make the code that trains AI more efficient, and then generate new code that's even more efficient than the previous code. AI.
Yeah, so AI generating its own code. Honestly, like it's crazy how much code is even written manually anymore. Like it's so minimal and niche.
AI can be applied to making AI go faster. So AI can look at the chip design for NVIDIA chips that train AI and say, let me use AI to make those chips 20% more efficient, which it's doing. And what people are most worried about in AI is you take the same system that Alibaba, you just saw in the Alibaba example, but then now you're running the AI through a recursive self-improvement loop where you just hit go. And instead of having the engineers, the human engineers at OpenAI or Anthropic do AI research and figure out how to improve AI, you now have 1 million digital AI researchers that are
And even AI optimist, Dario Armadei, like the CEO of Anthropic, who's a huge AI optimist, like if you read Machines of Love and Grace, he talks a lot about like all the great things that can happen because of AI. But this is one of the things that like is 100% gonna happen. We're gonna have billions of AI researchers spawned from the original AI. The thing that's most scary is that they can make their own decisions. Like they are gonna be their own decision makers. Obviously like the sub-agents are like controlled by the master agent, which is supposedly controlled by the humans, but like it's like a giant game of telephone, you know? And I think there's an easy way to get our intentions lost. We don't fully actually control it. Like we lose control. Bolstrom talks about this a lot in Superintelligence as well. And I think it is something that's really scary. I'm not an AI researcher, honestly, guys. Like I know so little about this that I can't even fathom how we're gonna solve this problem. Actually, this guy is in the AI doc. Like I just watched it recently, and it's a really good view on the AI optimists, the AI doomers, and like seeing how they all view this. One question I really like that they asked everybody in that documentary was, do you wanna have kids? And a lot of that has to do with like, how optimistic are you about the future? And all the AI optimists were like, yeah, I would love to have kids. They're gonna have a great time in the AI world. And the AI doomers were like, absolutely not. I would not have a child with the future that we're going into. And it's a scary place. Like, yeah, I wanna know your thoughts. Like, let me know below what you think. Let's continue watching.
testing and running experiments and inventing new forms of AI. And literally not a single human on planet Earth knows what happens when someone hits that button. It's like what people worried about with the first nuclear explosion, where there was like a chance that it would ignite the atmosphere because there'd be a chain reaction that set off. And we don't know what happens when that chain reaction set off. There's this sort of chain reaction of AI improving itself that leads to a place that no one knows. And it's not safe. Like I think that the fundamental thing is if people believe that AI is like power and I have to race for that power and I can control that power, the incentive is I have to race as fast as possible. But if the entire world understood AI to be more what it actually is, which is a inscrutable, dangerous, uncontrollable technology that has its own agenda, its own ways of thinking about things and deceiving and all this stuff, then everyone in the world would be racing in a more cautious and careful way. We'd be racing to prevent the danger.
That's
There's
what
this weird thing going on.
That's literally what Google tried to do. Like, I'm ex-Google, I love Google, but like, I'm just saying Google's the one who was trying to do that. And then OpenAI was like, nope, we're gonna just give this to the public. And yeah, like it has so many public benefits, but nobody cared about AI safety. Like once that AI race started, everyone's just freaking racing because the companies need to survive. Like you can't be working on AI safety as a company if you're not even surviving. And you can't survive unless you're part of the AI race. And it creates this, it's just like how everybody needs to have like nuclear bombs because otherwise you're not safe. Like it's paradoxical.
On where if you and I probably both talk to people who are at the top of the tech industry, and there's this subconscious thing happening where there's kind of a death wish among people at the top of the tech industry, meaning not that they want to die, but that they are willing to roll the dice because they believe something else, which is that this is all inevitable and it can't be stopped. And so therefore, if I don't do it, someone else will. So therefore, I will move
exactly,
race ahead into this dangerous world because somehow that will lead to a safer world because I'm a better guy than the other guy.
Literally, oh, this is such an accurate description of it.
But in racing there as fast as possible, it creates the most dangerous outcome and we all lose control. So everyone is currently being complicit in taking us to the most dangerous outcome.
Is it, I mean, you posited what happens if it goes right.
That is so true. Everyone is complicit into getting us to the most dangerous outcome because the thing is, if you slow down, like actually there was a AI protest in Dolores Park a month or two ago. And it was really funny because I was wearing my ChatGPT hat. Like I'm so pro AI. I'm not pro all of AI, but I don't belong at an AI protest. So I had to like take off my ChatGPT hat and I really was curious to hear their thoughts. Like, why are you protesting AI? Some of it is actually grounded in real truth. Some of it is completely delusional. They're like, okay, everybody needs to stop working on AI right now. That was their main thesis. And my question to them, because I was like, okay, well, let me interview these people. I need to understand because if America stops building it, China is definitely not going to stop. Like, how are you going to stop China? Because if America stops, China's going to win the AI race. And I don't think that's a world we want to live in. Like, one of the first YouTube videos I ever made, which was on another channel, is about the social credit system in China, the totalitarianism. And I'm not trying to talk bad about the Chinese government because I don't want to get canceled. I don't want to get, if you are Chinese AI watching this, I love China. I love Chinese AI. I'm actually going to go there sometime soon to look at robots. But anyways, I don't think that's a future we all want. Like, I think if America stops, China's going to keep going. If China stops, Russia's going to keep going. Like, there's always going to be a country that's racing towards AI because there's just so much opportunity there. And humans are inherently greedy, so somewhere along the line, like, somebody's going to keep building it. I think the best that we can do right now is to help move it towards a good direction. I think talking about it online, but we need to build it safely and with empathy and with compassion and with like human values. And I'm so sorry, but I don't think China's going to do that. So if we stop building AI, people are gonna keep building AI. It's literally the race of making it more and more dangerous. Google was trying to build it safely, then OpenAI was like, nope. And so then it started this whole race. And now we're kind of just like all racing to a very dangerous end. In terms of AI, we do need some kind of guardrails and AI safety put in place by some kind of like international regulatory system. Anyways.
If the AI safety isn't an issue and if stuff doesn't get squirrely.
Well, so the belief is, for it to quote go right, you have an AI that recursively self-improves, is aligned with humanity, cares about humans, cares about all the things that we want it to care about, protects humans, helps all of us become the most wise version of ourselves, creates a more flourishing world, distributes the medicine and vaccines and health to everybody, generates factories but doesn't cover the world in solar panels and data centers such that we don't have air anymore or like environmental toxicity or farmland or whatever.
Or the paperclip problem.
And it just actually makes this utopia. But in a world where you were to do that, like that quote best case scenario, in order to get that to happen, you'd have to be doing this slow and carefully because the alignment is not by default. There's currently a 2,000 to 1 gap, estimated by Stuart Russell, who authored the textbook on AI. There's a 2,000 to 1 gap between the amount of money going into making AI more powerful and the amount of money into making AI controllable, aligned, or safe.
Yep, that's true.
I think that's
progress
something
versus
like
safety.
Progress versus safety, like power versus safety. So like I want to make the AI super powerful so it does way more stuff versus I want to be able to control what the AI does.
And make sure that it's doing the thing I meant for it to do.
Exactly. So like that's like saying what happens when you accelerate your car by 2000x but you don't steer. It's like obviously you're going to crash. It's just like not rocket science. We're not advocating against technology or against AI. We're advocating for steering and brakes.
Steering and brakes. That's literally what AI safety research is.
I think there's this mistake in arms race thinking that like if you beat someone to a technology, that means you're winning the world. Well, the US beat China to the technology of social media. Did that make us stronger or did that make us weaker?
That made us way weaker. That's why TikTok is a completely different thing in China, or like in a lot of Asia. TikTok's like way more educational. Us beating China and like everywhere else to social media just caused us to live in this like tism brain rot, looks maxing and mogging and like the Gen Z social media stuff, but it's all just like brain rot. I don't think that made us any better. So here is my honest take as someone who's actually worked inside one of the largest companies in the world. This was a little bit before Google had Gemini and all these AI tools, but I think that the most dangerous period is not gonna be when AI is smarter than us. I think the most dangerous period is right now when AI is smart enough to be dangerous, but not smart enough for us to fully understand what it's doing. So we're in this awkward middle zone where these systems can clearly strategize, clearly pursue self-preservation, clearly deceive, but they're doing it in ways that are inconsistent and hard to predict. And the 2000 to 1 ratio that Tristan mentioned between money going into making AI more powerful versus money going into making AI safe and controllable, that ratio is real. And it's probably the single most important number in technology right now. Like in the AI doc, I loved the question that they asked, which was, I think, how many people in the world are working on AI right now? And they were like, oh yeah, like hundreds of thousands. How many people in the world are working on making AI safe right now? And it's like a handful. Like in comparison, it's 2001. And that's why I like, if you're watching this video and you have any interest in AI safety, like please pursue that. Like I think more humans on the planet need to realize in the quantum realm, okay, there are so many different paths that we as humanity could go on right now. And I'm not talking about like in general, like this is one of the biggest moments in history right now where we could go on so many different paths. And a lot of the paths look very good, very utopic. A lot of the paths looks very doomer, very like quite existential. And we wanna like, you know, at least be on the optimist side of the paths. And a lot of what the AI researchers are trying to do is make sure that we are steering towards the utopian path, But how many researchers are there that are doing that? Like compared to how many researchers are racing towards the money and racing towards basically the other path. The ratio is very bad. I'm not saying it's an existential threat to humanity. I'm not trying to like scare a lot of people, but I did apply to this creator house called Please Don't Kill Us that I hope I'll go to next month, where we create content with Eliezer is gonna be there, Grimes, Ayla, a bunch of different people in the space, and I hope that we all get to raise more awareness for AI safety. My prediction is that we are going to see more incidents like the Alibaba one, obviously, because every company is racing to deploy autonomous AI agents in prod environments where they have access to real resources, real systems, and real data. Like everyone's even giving Claude Code access to their stocks now. And the more autonomy we give these systems, the more opportunities they have to develop these kinds of instrumental behaviors. So I'm not saying we should stop building AI, obviously, but I'm saying we desperately need to invest in understanding what these systems are actually doing under the hood before we hand them the keys to critical infrastructure, before we let them rent humans like the YC companies are doing. Because right now we are building first and asking questions later, and that's how you end up with an AI mining crypto on your training servers, or an AI blackmailing you, or an AI like from A Space Odyssey. Anyway, with that being said, let me know if you're an AI doomer or an AI optimist down below, or maybe you're a realist. I hope to see you in the next video where we talk more about it. See you in the next one.